Ladies and gentlemen, happy Friday. Welcome to Finish the Story. I am your host, Keegan Ray. I am joined here by our Mentat producer, Mr. Trent Ludzak, on the ones and twos.
You're going to keep with that?
I was going to do it one more week.
One more week. As long as you're reading Dune, which is going to be a while.
It's going to be a while.
Because I have a feeling when it gets really weird, you're going to get more into it.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna do that like I did.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, this is something I'll never be able to explain to another human.
You start slowly but surely not being able to explain it in regular conversations.
Yeah. It becomes a big problem. Yeah.
You hear yourself explaining it.
Welcome.
Never fucking mind.
Welcome brother. It's this.
Know that this is all I wanted to say about reading Dune. You know that an author is good when your first instinct when you read the book is like, fuck, I need to read more. You know, like this rules. Like I should be reading more. Because I immediately was like, the book is so much denser with what's going on, and like you get so much more detail, obviously, in the book. But it was
like the detail is the important thing to note is a lot of where you're getting the context that you need to understand it comes from the detail.
Yeah.
So like all that little detail, that's giving you the context that builds the universe.
Mm-hmm. It's just crazy to me that all this was in one dude's head. Like this entire universe that he's created. I'm like,
and
God,
you've noticed
man.
every once in a while, have you hit a line that makes you stop it for a minute and just be like, hold on. I had one the other day where a character said, life is the mask that the universe wears to show itself.
Jesus Christ, dude. Whoa. Whoa. Home run right there, bro.
Yeah, that's Children of Dune.
God,
that's the third book.
That's what I'm saying. That's one that makes you sip your beer at the bar. You're like, whew. Do you take notes in your book?
No. I will earmark chapters where something interesting happens. Or where like I read something like that, I'll earmark it, and then I'm kind of really testing to see if I'll catch those again. I didn't start doing it until like the fourth book, I think. Yeah, the first time around.
I was at work the other night, and this girl Lexi, she had it looked like paint swabs, like like test paint, like it was all these little things. We're like, what the fuck is that? She was like, I leave it in my book. It's like sticky notes that she leaves under lines.
I've seen people.
And
do
as
that.
much as I had the instinct to be like fucking gay, like I just wanted to be like nerd. I was like, yeah, that would
be useful.
That would be nice to go back to a line like you said.
I think I'm gonna get those on my next House of Leaves read through.
Oh, dude, that book.
The problem with starting is that's a big commitment, and you don't know how long it's going to take you to read because you don't know how wrapped up in these puzzles you're going to get.
Yeah, that's too much.
Because like last time I did it, I spent an hour and a half trying to figure out Morse code that I'm pretty sure you don't even have enough of it to really figure it out anyway.
Yeah. I feel like the joke is you actually trying to figure it out.
That's what I realized about an hour and a half in.
I got punked by some dead guy. Fuck.
No, he's not even dead.
Oh, okay. I assumed it was a long time ago.
No.
So have you been bar reading?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little too much. I got to stop doing it a little bit.
No, dude, bar reading's good.
I did it at McCracken's yesterday, actually. Yeah.
In the daytime?
Daytime.
Yeah. I was going to say, don't be that guy at night.
No, not at night.
This is like a Roadhouse scene. You're like, excuse me, please. Can you turn the music down?
I'm like the guy in Waiting. Have you seen that?
Yeah. It took me a second.
Like, just bring me a drink every once in a while, and then I'll tip you good if you just leave me the fuck alone with my book.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my God, nothing is worse than a waiter that's talking to you too much. Where you're like, bro, read the fucking room.
Yeah,
beat it.
I sit at the bar. I feel like they're more like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. I don't have to worry about this.
That's a welcome little oasis to somebody that doesn't want to be fucked with. You're like, oh, thank God. Because the worst is somebody who does want to interact with you.
Yeah.
And you're just at the bar, especially when it's not busy, so you have nothing else to look like you're doing. You're just like, God damn it, dude.
I like eavesdropping.
That's why I feel like when I go get my hair cut, I don't want to do small talk because I do it for a living. Yeah. I'm just like, hey, man.
That makes sense.
Let's fucking don't. Let's don't. Let me just sit here. I'm too high. I got way too high. I call it haircut high. I go in there fucking. I got to sit still for 45 minutes. And it's like, what am I going to talk to you while you're cutting my hair? Like, why don't you focus, bro? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to, like while they're cutting your beard, you're like, I'm not going to say anything. I like hold my breath.
I do all my own trimming for my beard. My hair.
That is the most uncomfortable part.
My hair, I have women do it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
When
it gets this long, you can't go to.
That's
dudes.
like you can't have a woman do a beard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I trust a man more, and I trust a man that has a beard more.
That's why I do the beard myself.
I do it in between haircuts.
But I'm also trying to get a little bit longer, which means I got to look weird for a little while.
The hair or the beard?
The beard.
Oh my god, dude!
Well,
How long are you trying to go?
Well, the hair, you know what I'm trying to do with the hair, right? I'm trying to get it long enough that I can cut it probably up to like here, something a little bit more reasonable. And then donate the rest to make a wig for Patrick.
That's a good idea.
That's a really good idea.
That's a creepy thought.
I think I'm not that far away. Dude. I think I basically need to find somebody who makes a wig really well. Which Atlanta's a pretty good place, I think.
I was about to say there's definitely some people in Atlanta that can make you a wig.
Yeah.
That's so creepy.
It's a funny idea, though.
God, that's so creepy, dude. I don't know what creeps me out about that, but it does. Just him wearing your hair.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's like weirder if you know the person's hair.
It's way weirder.
Like, yeah, I want anonymous hair.
But here's the thing. If I put in the effort, he has to wear it at least once, and it's going to be on the podcast.
Yeah. Because that's probably going to be an expensive endeavor.
To get that wig made?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
And, like...
How much does wig making cost?
Going to the hair salon and being like, hey, I want you to put all that hair in a bag. They're like, what?
No, I need to meet. Basically, what I need is a comic who knows how to do all that can cut my hair and make the wig. And then I will pay them for that. But how much does it cost to have a wig made?
Yeah, to have a wig made, I have no idea. It's like a kung fu movie. You got to go to like some guy who makes it. You know what I mean? He's in some little.
Holy shit!
Yeah, dude, $3,200 to get a wig made.
All right, I got to talk to my tax guy to figure out. Because here's the thing. That's a good write-off. If I can write that off, I'll do it.
Wig, get the fuck out of here. I mean,
it's for the show. There's no purpose for it. Patrick's not going to wear it every day. If he does,
maybe
it'll probably creep me out more than anything.
You run into Patrick at some bar out of town at like Chattanooga. He's just sitting at the end of the bar in a wig. He's in your shirt. You're like, what the fuck?
Patrick dresses exactly like me when I'm not around.
He's doing a set. He's bombing.
He's doing my material.
He's bombing somewhere in like Idaho. I've never been to fucking Kansas.
Patrick and I have talked about doing like a set swap at some point.
Like an MF Doom thing?
Where like I would do his material in my style and he would do my material in his style. Mm-hmm. I think that would be fun.
We did a set swap and I did Chris Davison.
Oh,
Savannah.
fuck.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
It was so fun. Because I don't really do comedy like that. So it was so fun to have a dirty joke and be like, ooh, you don't even know what's coming.
Like do some real wild shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't do that.
It's a wild feeling because you're looking at this crowd and you're like, they have no idea what's coming. Yeah. And I'm looking at this notebook like, whoo.
I love that. I call them uppercut jokes where it's just kind of like you're kind of... Really, it's usually just misdirection where you're kind of waving. It's like you're waving your hand at a baby to distract it, and then you just punch that baby in the head.
I like to call it a draw four, where you're just sitting there and it's going around the circle, and you're looking at somebody next to you in Uno, and you're like, I'm about to fuck their day.
I'm about to change this vibe real quick.
This is the fourth draw four in a row. Draw 16, bitch. I hate you. Draw 16, Aunt Cindy. Fuck you.
Bro. You know what would be a funny idea would be to get a deck for Uno and then bring it to shows and just start playing it with comics. You'd really find out who people are.
Yeah. I think people would get nasty.
Yeah.
That Monopoly just brings out the fucking beast in people.
Dude, Risk is tough for me.
Risk is such a long game, though.
That's why it's tough because I've invested 3 hours into this, and I'm the first one out.
Yeah, it's so burned. Yes, my brother used to beat my ass in Risk.
I maybe have won one game of Risk ever.
Yeah, I usually ended up just knocking all the pieces off.
I did that. I've done that at least 3 or 4 times in my life, definitely.
Yeah.
That's how the majority of Risk games end.
That's little brother shit. I've flipped the fucking Monopoly board. I've thrown plenty of Sega controllers.
I used to do a little one-liner that never worked well
What was
enough
it?
to justify keep doing it, but it could. You can't drink. You can't play board games when you're drunk, because if you're drunk, a board game is just an argument you got to set up on a table.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just kind of true. It's not really a good joke.
Yeah, we always, every Christmas Eve.
That joke was about Risk.
Right. Yeah, I was about to say, it had somewhere, something was rooted.
Dude, and I think I was in the Army. So, like, dude, those were brutal Risk games because everybody's
Bad.
just
Y'all are
hammered
IRL
and mad.
Risk. You're playing in real life.
We weren't. We were trying to find places to nap mostly.
Yeah, that seems like a big problem. I was telling somebody about your bathroom debacle the other day, and they were like, what?
Wait.
About just like how many people and you having to shit fast and how
Oh, yeah.
how you
When
evolved to be a fast shitter.
Yeah.
I was like,
Pretty
that's
crazy.
torture.
Well, that was mostly in basic, and it was just kind of a habit that I never dropped until way too late.
I get it.
It doesn't become that necessary later most of the time.
Yeah.
Unless, dude, you ever shit your pants when you're running?
No, I would stop running
That's a pretty
far
bad time.
before that.
It's a pretty bad time.
Yeah, I would just quit. My level for I just quit is just so short. Like
What
I would
if-
be like, well,
what-
I quit.
What if the cost of quitting is now you got to do sit-ups?
What do you mean?
If you drop out, somebody's going to be like, don't fucking get the fuck back in there. We got to run in formation. We've got another 1.5 miles to go. If you really are like, no, I shit my pants, they'll be like, oh, you shit your pants? Well, then you can either get back in formation or we'll do sit-ups here until they circle back around.
Right.
And then we'll jump back in the way back. And then you can clean up.
I just think I would quit before that.
I saw a guy
I would have quit long before I shit my pants.
I saw a guy one time where he just timed it so perfectly. I mean, he got in trouble still, but he was gonna shit his pants, and he's like, oh, because everybody's heavy drinkers. It happens to all of us. Yeah. There was a barracks building that he was like, I know they have a bathroom in the front. All these buildings are the same. I know exactly where the bathroom is. And just as the formation was getting close to it, he just split off, ran straight to the bathroom, closed the door, and then there was just a guy waiting for him outside the door.
Yeah, you get in trouble. I did that in school.
But he did shit in a toilet. So really, that's a victory.
He wins.
He won.
I shit in a faculty bathroom and knew I was going to get in trouble. I was like, I know somebody, as soon as I come out here, somebody's going to be standing there. Sure enough. But I was like, I did not like shitting at school. Like, it was a problem. I would go from class and walk all the way down to the locker room. I just did not like shitting in public. I was like that dude off American Pie. I just couldn't go home.
Yeah.
I hated shitting in school. It was a problem, dude. And then if you had to shit in the locker room, people would fuck with you. Like you had to shit like before practice.
Yeah,
or
you
something.
had to go. You had to wait till like everybody was gone or go before they got there.
Because it was like open season, dude. People throwing shit over the walls. Like, it was a nightmare.
Dude, it's a miracle. Like locker rooms, what a nightmare of a place. Like for children.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
It really becomes the fucking book about kids.
Lord of the Flies.
Becomes Lord of the Flies
Real quick.
Pretty quick.
Really quick. Yeah,
in the 10 minutes that actually takes place. Because it's like, it's only 10 minutes, but it's the most brutal 10 minutes of the day, every day.
I watched a kid when I was young. So when I was in 9th grade, they were hazing people, right? The older kids at Grayson. And I watched a kid that got hazed. He had this long hair. Dude, they held him down and shaved his fucking head. Bro. And I remember out of all the hazing, watching him cry, I was like,
that's
the worst one. I was like, this is going to fuck this kid up. Like, this is why. I was like, what are y'all doing? And then they didn't even shave his whole head.
Oh,
they just
that's the
fucking
worst.
shaved like a little thing and just left it.
Did
so
he
then
like,
the next day he came in with like a bald head. I was like, oh my
fuck.
God, dude.
Bro, that's such a dick move.
Oh, yeah. I told you, dude, my brother ended up beating this kid up that we lived with, and I didn't realize he was like still going to school. My first day in 9th grade, I walked in the locker room and I saw him. I was like, oh, hey, Nick. Like, that was so long ago.
Yeah.
And he just sucker punched me in the stomach. I was like laying on the locker room floor like.
You didn't even know he was mad?
He goes, fuck you and your brother. Just like walked out. I was like, oh,
man. The locker rooms are really where you can see in action that schools are prisons.
Yeah. Our locker room had the cages in it in Grayson. Because it was like the gym locker rooms too, so they would lock them when like everybody would go to gym class.
The cage.
So they also had 2 doors. So you had to walk in and there was bathrooms in there. But the coaches' offices were inside the locker room.
Yep.
So one time there was a fight and everybody just ran to the doors and locked it. And the coaches were in the hallway and their keys were in their office.
Oh,
so they're just standing out there like dumbasses like, hey, hey.
And there's kids fighting in there.
In a like
just beating
fucking
the shit
with
out
cages.
of each other.
It was crazy.
Dude.
Yeah, for real, like some fucking for real like gangland shit. You're in there like prison yard. It was wild.
Yeah.
Everybody was standing up on the lockers like shaking the things.
Bro, school is the worst. It's the worst place. It's the worst place you could send kids.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's just like it's just pandemonium though. There's like bad fucking schools. Like it's just,
some school. Yeah,
dude. I watched the teacher one time have a full mental break. Like. She broke down. So this is what happened. I'll tell you what happened in our class, and then I'll give you the backstory.
Man,
of what
I love
was
a
going
minimum
on.
wage worker breaking down.
What was going on with her day. So she comes in, and like everybody fucked with this English teacher. Like we'd always mess with her. Somebody would throw something while she was at the board.
It's
like,
English. It's the language we speak. Why are you
She
here?
would try to like say like turn to chapter, and somebody go boo. She's like, who's booing me? And like the whole class would boo. So we come in one day, and she just stands up, and she's like about to start teaching, bro. And she just breaks down. And then she looks at the class. She goes, I don't know what is wrong with you kids. And then she just storms out. And our whole class is like, what the fuck? We didn't do anything today. Like the class before, I guess a girl overdosed. This is in fucking 10th grade. Yes, she's just sitting in her desk like on pills. Just like on opiates.
Shit.
Fucking falls out of her chair. And the girl behind her is like, she's overdosing. She took pills. And her teacher's like, what? So she had to call the fucking campus police like in 10th grade.
Oh, wow.
And then the next class comes in. She's like, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you people.
Yeah, because she probably got up there and was just like, this is going to happen again, I bet. I bet she had to quit teaching.
Look at kids
she had to quit teaching, I bet.
She did. She was done after that.
They
had to bring in a substitute teacher for the rest of the year. She quit. She was like, this ain't worth it, dude.
Never again. I think you could teach. You'd be like that. You would not be at like every time you would stand in front of a group of children, you'd probably be like, this is going to go bad.
And, you know, like I'll be walking down the street now and I see a group
that
of
lady,
kids and I'm terrified. I'm like, dude, these kids are going to beat my ass or make fun of me on TikTok.
By the way, that lady has cats now.
Oh, for sure. 100%. Cats in a Xanax prescription. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
She's daily trying to forget about it.
A little Adderall for the daytime.
Yeah. A little pick me up. What's going on with you, dude?
I don't know.
Well, what happened to your hand?
I burned my hand last night making hot dogs drunk at home.
That might be the most on-brand thing that you've ever said in this podcast. I was drunk, making hot dogs, and burned the shit out of my hand. Was it with the fire or the water?
The water.
Oh.
So it was basically, I like stumbled a little bit and I don't even remember what I was trying to do. But what happened is I grabbed the pan of hot water that I just turned off like 10 seconds ago. And I just knocked it so it just splashed all over my hand. So I have a big ass blister on top of my hand. And you know what, man? That hurts pretty bad.
Yeah, hot water sucks, dude.
I haven't encountered hot water like that, I think, at least in a long time.
We have a big pasta cooker at the restaurant.
I almost texted you to ask you if there's anything I should do specifically for
You could do like a burn spray, but other than that, you just go...
Yeah, I've been putting ointment on it just because there's a blister, but
it sucks.
Yeah,
there's a pasta cooker at work, and one time I dropped my tongs in there, and without even thinking about it, I just fucking, I was so bummed. I was like, why did I just do that?
Because also the thing is, it doesn't hurt immediately. At least it didn't for me. It didn't. It was just kind of like, oh, water, and I know that's hot. But then, like 10 seconds later, it started to hurt a lot, and it was like my whole right hand. And that was the scariest point because you're like, I don't know how bad this is gonna get. Like I was just waiting for blisters to show up all over my fingers.
Yeah.
And just be like, oh, fuck, I burned the shit out of myself.
So this is something I think about every time I burn myself.
Terrifying.
How bad did it suck to be in the Crusade days and be the first guy on the ladder when somebody dumped
the oil?
Holy shit, dude.
The worst way to go.
In your suit?
Dude,
your
cooked
suit
in
of
armor?
Just,
Cooked in armor.
I think about it every
It's a
time I'm
metal
changing
song.
the oil at
Book it.
work. I'm just like dumping the oil out like, dude, the horrific screams.
Oh my God, dude.
And that's what I'm saying. I have to quit so hard. Like I would just later off that ladder.
Because like that's so rough, dude. Like at
That's
least if
maybe
you're
the
in a
worst way to
field
go.
with a bunch of dudes, like you're like, oh, I can block or something. Until you get domed in the back of the head with an axe.
Yeah, that's maybe the best way.
The best
Boil-
way to
boiling
go
alive
in that
on
time.
a ladder?
No.
Dude.
What's a worse one? There's got to be a worse
I
one.
mean, I'm sure there's worse ones, but that oil
I think
hurts
wrapped
so
in a
bad.
rope after your ship goes down, like you're all wrapped up with a sail
No.
that's sinking, and you can't get out. And there's
The
no way.
mental torture of just
That would be a
watching
tough-
it go down slowly.
That would be a tough one to
Yeah.
just be like, I can't get out of this.
That sucks.
Uh,
Anytime that it's a slow burn, when you just
Yeah.
are like a slow burn, you're like,
Yeah.
fuck.
gut shot, that's pretty tough.
Yeah. The guys that died to sword wounds and infection in the battlefield.
God.
oof, that's a rough way to go.
And they didn't even, maybe the most tragic thing, they didn't even have good ways to kill themselves, you know?
Yeah.
Like there were no pills.
Yeah, see, that would
There
be
was-
a
there was-
definite,
you
like,
couldn't- you
in my
couldn't-
survival carry kit.
You couldn't eat a shotgun, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. How do you kill yourself? Do you fall on a sword? Do you have to stab yourself to
Dude,
death?
have you ever heard that story about the director? And I cannot remember what movie he did right now because I am high. But he, don't try to look it up yet. Hold on. So he took LSD and they were in a war zone. And he was there for like this filming of this movie. And they're like under
in a
attack.
real war zone?
Yes, like under attack. Like he was there, like doing research and shit to like learn about to be a director for this, and they're in like a real war zone. And he's like, "We're gonna fucking die." So he had LSD on him. So he takes LSD, and later on, he swore to God, like that's how he could like smell the landmines in this field because they're in a field of landmines, and that's how they fucking got through the night. I was reading that the other night. I forget. I wish I knew what director it was, but like.
Can I Google it?
Yeah, LSD director landmines. See what comes up. But I was reading this story like, dude, this is crazy. Yeah,
Richard Stanley.
yeah.
War in Afghanistan.
He said he could see in the dark and smell the landmines. I don't know what just made me think of that. Richard Stanley. He looks like somebody who would take LSD in the middle of a war zone.
Bro, I don't know any of these movies.
I know.
Oh, The Island of Dr. Moreau. He apparently
Yeah.
did that. Bro, what are these? Also, he looks...
Pull him up so
Wait
people
a
can
minute.
see him.
That guy was in something I just watched. Oh, what was that thing I just watched that he was... Oh, he was in the Dune thing.
Oh, yeah.
The documentary about the lost Dune movie.
That's exactly the connection. That's why I looked him up.
Oh, that...
Yeah.
And I hate him. I hate this guy. Fuck you, Richard Stanley. Because here's the thing. Richard Stanley is so on board with destroying what Dune is that I can't support him. I fucking hope your mustache eats you to death.
He's like sitting there and he's like, well, when you can destroy a thing, you truly own a thing.
Oh, you piece of shit. You piece of shit. God damn it, Keegan. I never should have got you reading those.
He knows, dude. He knows. He knows the true power. Dude, we have a guy at work. His name is Daniel. but he looks just like Paul Atreides. Like he has the same hair.
Yeah.
So every time he comes back in the kitchen to like order
Yeah.
something, they're all just like, Mondeep, Mondeep.
I have a question. Can they hear it in the restaurant? Can like the booths nearby? Because that's hilarious.
Yeah, probably. I mean, definitely the first table section can hear Lisan Al Gaib.
If I ever come into that restaurant, I want you to sit me in that section so that
like
I
he
can.
came in, I was doing the thumper. Like, I don't think he got what I was referring. I don't know if he's watched the movies. He just laughs.
He
He's like,
has to now.
He's young. He's like 18.
Not smart enough for it.
Nah, he's too smart for his age. He's like one of those where you're like, all right, dude.
You're like,
chill
"Ah,
out."
you're gonna do something weird.
I know. I just tell them all the time they don't listen to the podcast, and I just like, wow,
Yeah.
I can't believe you didn't hear what I said about you. And they're like, wait, what?
I like how you're assuming all your coworkers listen to the podcast now.
No, they don't.
It was weird. Did I talk about on the podcast when I went to the Porvino's in Kennesaw?
No.
Did I tell you about it? How I went in and immediately 2 servers recognized me and were like, "Whoa, he's here!"
That's the guy from the screen.
Yeah.
No, that's cool, man. It's always cool. I always am thinking about our future listeners. I
Yeah.
thought about that one day. I was having a time warp myself.
There you go.
Little
you
water
were
of
really
life experience myself.
looking into the future a little bit.
I do like in the books the way they explain that a little bit more. Undulating fabric. That's a fucking cool way to say it, dude.
Yeah. Wait till they start getting into the threads of that fabric.
I like that.
Because I forgot about the undulating fabric a little bit
Mhm.
because, you know,
Hey.
I lost the forest for the trees, you could say.
Well, let me tell you this. As somebody who has tripped and seen a tapestry waving in the wind, I understand undulating fabric. I was like, wow, he put into words what I've done at Bonnaroo many times. Just staring at somebody's tapestry like, I never liked tie-dye, but now I get it. That's actually, dude, I was on acid one day, like one of the first times I did it at a concert, and the dude in front of me had a Grateful Dead tie-dye shirt, and I looked at my friend and I go, I get it.
Yeah.
And he goes, get what? And I went, tie-dye.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, 'cause his shirt was moving like a painting, and I was like, oh, I see why. It's very cool. Very cool.
I think it's funny because everybody I've talked to who has tripped has told me that, like, that's the moment. Nobody gets tie-dye until that moment.
Yeah.
And then you're like, and that doesn't even necessarily mean you start liking it. You just
No,
are like, oh,
you
I
understand
understand
it.
why people do that.
I get it now. Because you were like, I thought it was just like a flight. Dude, I remember getting in the car.
They had us do it as kids. How crazy is that?
Yeah. I remember getting in the car to go to spring break, and my buddy's getting in with tie-dye T-shirts, and I'm like, everybody go fucking change, dude. I like the Grateful Dead as much as the rest of us. But we're driving with weed in the car. We
Can't.
do not need to be. We might as well put a fucking flag out the window. You know, what are you doing? As soon as we get pulled over, they're like, listen here, Dead and Co. Step out of the vehicle.
Come on over here, John Mayer.
Yeah, get out of the fucking car, man.
Oh, gee. Yeah, that's...
You can't do that. You can't put like the Bonnaroo or the fucking stickers on your car.
But-
No, like a Jamaican flag.
But-
Bob Marley, One Love.
By the way, I just wanted to ask, so you, because your thoughts on the beginning of Dune Messiah, pretty fun.
Pretty ridiculous, dude.
Well, because I also read that so long ago now, for the first time, that I don't remember what it was like to not know what the navigators look like.
Yeah,
in
I was
your
just
head.
like, fish people. It's going to be like that movie where the lady fucked the fish. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I pictured as well.
Yeah, like a humanoid thing.
Wait, did you ever see the Lynch movie?
Which one?
The old Dune movie that came out?
Oh, dude, I started watching that. Yes.
So that you know what the
That's
navigators
wild.
look like in that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. That's a wildly bad movie.
It really is. It's crushingly bad.
Yeah. It's amazing that Dune survived that. It's like-
Yeah. Well, it went underground.
Yeah.
You know,
That was
became
just-
a cult following thing instead.
I think it had to catch up. Somebody was saying that was our Empire Strikes Back as the new Dune movie. I was like, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I
guess with cultural impact, maybe, because Star Wars to me sucks.
Here's the thing. I hope it stays good. And we'll see, because there are some changes that are concerning for the future.
Yeah.
You know, where you're like, okay, this doesn't really match up with how the book ended.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to continue, where are we going? And if it's Brian Herbert's, like, fucking Brian's the son. If they go with like a thing where they're like, we're just gonna show the Holy War, as they're calling it. Book calls it jihad.
Yeah, book calls it jihad.
But
don't change words.
If it's just like a movie of the Holy War, I'm gonna be mad.
Yeah. It needs to be a montage of the Holy War with Credence, Fortunate Son playing. All right, let's have Paul Atreides, Ryan and a worm,
bro.
Yeah, Fortunate Son playing, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with the dragonfly helicopters flying around.
Every fucking war movie, just take it right out of the Vietnam movies.
Bro, I do fucking.
Good morning, Arrakis.
I do love the Dune machine guns on those things.
Yeah.
That it just like shoots like a wall of bullets in an area. Pretty sick.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing is dope.
I love it.
I was trying to think about what to talk about today. And then, dude, have you seen this shit about Boeing?
Yeah. I've seen enough that I'm not going to fly. Flying is over. We're not.
If it's Boeing, I'm not going.
I'm driving.
Dude.
I got to drive to Texas soon. I'm going to drive to Indianapolis.
It's bad enough that now we realize we're at idiocracy level with movies, but that carries over into construction of planes.
Yeah, which is so bad.
And then it's like, it's not bad enough that some Xanax pilled out idiots trying to open the door. You know, like that's not enough to worry about.
My real worry is if it's gotten to planes, what else has it gotten to? Everything. So like road work. I mean, we've it's kind of been open secret about road work the whole time, really.
I mean, we drive over a lot of bridges. Like, how old is this bridge? It's new?
Well, you know about the, what the fuck is it? 35W Bridge in Minneapolis?
No.
You never heard about that? So when I was a kid, one of the major bridges that connects Minneapolis and St. Paul collapsed during rush hour.
God. What? During what?
Rush hour. Like, there's a school bus on that motherfucker.
Oh, my God. Rush hour in Minnesota. So what, 1,000 people died?
No, I think almost nobody died, but it looked crazy. Look at this.
That's insane.
That's
worst case fucking scenario. That's what you're thinking about every time you're on a bridge. Oh, my God. Is there video?
Yeah.
I was going to say, what year did this happen? Oh, there is video.
Trying to find the short one that's going to be.
There's never one. It's always, oh, there we go.
2007.
Oh, man.
Also, this was one of the major highways through the Twin Cities in 2007.
Holy shit.
There's another video that's like under the bridge where you see it fall. But like that one, it's taken like a picture every second or something. So it's really not a good video, but
that's terrifying. But yeah, I was reading about that.
Yeah, when I was a
like,
kid this happened.
Fuck that. Oh my God. Imagine that though. You're like,
that video.
Shit, dude. Run that back and show that.
Hold on.
We gotta do that for him. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, this is.
Oh, I can't believe nobody died.
I mean, people died, but not like.
Not 1,000. I thought you were saying 0. Jesus.
No, it wasn't.
Water, dude. That's my worst fear.
Yep. I mean, into the Mississippi River. It collapsed into the Mississippi. The most famous river, yeah. During rush hour, 13 people were killed.
Jesus Christ. That's some Final Destination shit.
Yep. So basically the big scandal was that basically the whole state's bridge inspection thing was just like they weren't really checking. You know, they were just because it had been inspected like 6 months earlier and been okayed.
Damn, dude. Yeah. Some guy just like, fuck it.
It's a bridge. What's it going to do?
God damn it. Yeah, I think about that shit every time I'm on a plane. I mean, you really have to start thinking about it.
Also, I do want to say, how on brand is it that Minneapolis has had, where it's cold, it's had a bridge collapse into a river, and in Georgia they've had a bridge light on fire?
Yeah, dude, that was so fucking bizarre.
We should pull that up too, actually.
But no, so we're talking about the Boeing thing, right? So this guy is like a whistleblower. He's like, hey, I don't think things are on the up and up. Like, then he kills himself.
Yep, he killed himself, which is exactly
it's just
what
insane
you'd
to
expect
think
to
that
happen.
it's like,
I
yeah,
just want to
like-
show this because if people haven't seen this, 85 also lit on fire one time. Actually, twice. Didn't it happen again not long ago?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and then this guy was so
Yeah,
sad
so he
before,
Epsteined himself.
Yeah, so sad before a deposition that he killed himself. Like, how
Yup.
crazy is that?
It's crazy that works.
Yeah, that, like, they're not even trying
That you can
anymore.
do that and it just happens.
Yeah, at least with the JFK thing, they had some pizzazz. They had the guy with the umbrella. They had multiple shooters.
Yeah, they put a
had,
bunch of
like-
actors out there to throw everybody off.
Yeah, dude. Boeing's like, whoops. He's very sad.
It's how did he it wasn't like one of the there was one of the Clinton ones famously where it's like he killed himself with 2 shots to the back of the head.
Yeah. That's my favorite. I just want to hear somebody defend that. Like, how do you not see that? Like, how do you not see that
yeah.
the guy is having, he's about to
The
be the
worst
biggest
way you could
whistleblower?
kill yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird how everybody knows, but nobody cares.
They're like, he shot himself and deleted everything on his computer.
Yeah. He left no trace, no evidence of any kind.
Yeah. It's the damnedest thing. Yeah.
So weird.
People can't care at this point. Say what you want about the CIA. MK Ultra is a fucking raving success.
No, they canceled that. It was a failure, remember?
They are succeeding.
They said they canceled it,
Yeah,
Keegan.
they are succeeding.
They
It
can't,
is
but they
insane.
canceled it. It's the
Yeah.
fluoridation of our
just watched Dr.
precious bodily fluids.
That was awesome. Yeah, we watched Dr. Strangelove right before this.
Yeah,
If
because
you've
you
never seen it, go
I was
see it.
surprised you had never seen it.
It was very like a play. It was like
Yeah.
a Shakespearean play, like
Yeah.
a comedy of errors.
It's every time there's a moment where you're like, oh, they got something, and then something else.
Yeah.
It's fun though. I think it's my favorite. It's one of my favorite like dark comedies at least.
It's a cool older movie.
Yeah.
And it's crazy too. You're like, how the fuck did they shoot some of these shots? Like, you have to Google how they shot some of the shots. You're like, that's how you know it was a good one. No wonder they gave that guy the reins to do the moon
landing. Yeah.
Do you really think he did that? Do you really?
I don't know. I don't care.
I think, yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I'm like, that affects my life not one
Not
bit.
even a little bit.
Yeah,
not,
not one bit.
not even a little.
If they like came on the news tomorrow, I'd be like, yeah, okay.
Okay, fine.
I
Fine.
changed none.
What about if they said Bigfoot was real? Would that change anything for you?
No, I mean, because obviously he is.
You
I
wouldn't
mean, he's
be-
got his own museum in Blue Ridge. I mean, get real. Yeah, dude.
That's funny. In Valdosta, there's a gas station that me and my coworkers used to stop at pretty regularly when we would work down there.
Mhm.
And I didn't realize, because I would always see these signs for the Bigfoot gas station. And I was like, where is it? Because it's on this exit. I don't know. They just have one of those signs where it's way too tall for the street that they're on. So you got to look up to see the sign. But the gas station we've been going to this whole time is the Bigfoot gas station.
Damn.
And I could not tell.
That's crazy.
It was just a gas station that they were marketing as a
Yeah.
Bigfoot spot.
There's like grainy security camera footage of you walking into the bathroom. They're just
it's me. They've been waiting for a guy that looks like
You-
me to show
you
up for
fulfilled
years.
the prophecies. They're like, oh my God, he's here.
He's going to get us another 20
The
years of that
skunk ape
sign.
has returned. You're like, hey, that's hurtful.
I haven't done that joke in a long
That
time.
joke rules, dude.
I
You
should
need-
pull it back
you need
out
merch
tonight.
that says skunk ape.
I
dude.
do. I do.
Like a fucking, the guy who did not Liam Nielsen. But yeah, the guy who did Liam Neeson stuff.
Liam Nelson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun. Because, I mean...
Skunk Ape with that cartoon, that'd be awesome. I don't know. Yeah, that needs to get done.
Yeah.
That was a big thing when I was a kid. Everybody had that skunk weed. I got the dank buds.
The dank buds.
Dank buds.
That's
Dude,
what it is funny how much drug terminology made it into like childhood, like children's stuff.
Yeah.
Like kids started using dank for memes.
Bro,
The dankest
speaking
memes.
of childhood children shit,
Childhood children's shit.
that fucking Nickelodeon documentary is
Oh,
outrageous.
I haven't watched it
The worst part
yet.
about it, I'm not going to spoil
I'm
anything,
kind of scared to watch
but the
it.
worst part about it is when they show the old clips from like all that, and then you see it now as an adult, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like one of the things was the kid was like, had to get covered in peanut butter in some Dare show that was like Fear Factor, but for kids, and dogs came out and licked the peanut butter off of it.
That's pretty weird.
They were doing like Ariana Grande when she was like 13, was like laying on a bed upside down, like pouring water on her. I'm like, yo.
Well, I want to see that.
Oh, no, dude, she's.
I'm
like
fucking with
12.
you, of course.
It was crazy. Like one scene, the kids literally got like dicks on his shoulder. He's like a superhero, and they're showing like he sneezes. It's called Nose Man, and it's like the snot hits the girl's face like a cum shot. And it was like the whole joke was like that they were getting it in there and like sneaking it in.
That's wild.
It was hard to watch. When you're watching it, you're like, but my whole thing was the parents were like, I didn't really know. I'm like, you knew. You just were cashing that check. You were just cashing that fucking check.
That's fucking
You
so
drove
gross.
up in your BMW and you're like, is it that bad? Went back to your fucking mansion. I mean, it's crazy. Amanda Bynes did dirty. Dude.
Oh, she's insane now.
I didn't
isn't
really
she?
watch that show, but yeah, they.
I wonder what she looks like now.
Oh, they're broken. I mean, they fucked those kids up, man. It's rough to watch because there's so much malice in it, and
shit.
there's so much like premeditation. Like these people were really the big. A lot of the shows I didn't watch.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, she's having a rough go. A lot of the shows I didn't watch the Amanda show. I was too old.
There was a movie that
Did you watch
my
that?
sister loved. I mean, a little bit when it was on. Because I was in that. That
Yeah,
was
that's what
my
I mean. I was
age
trying to
range for
figure out the
Nickelodeon.
age. Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like right there.
Did you watch Drake and Josh?
Yes.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you need to watch this documentary because it's bad.
It's going to be a lot of stuff where I'm like,
fan of Drake and Josh, it's not good. It was a dark set, my friend. It's hard for me because I got kids on the way. And I would just
keep them away from
absolutely
acting.
I would have lost it on so many occasions of just
Also,
like,
probably keep them away from comedy. Now that you know who's
absolutely.
around,
Dude,
You're like,
nobody wants their daughters up there talking about their pussy. Like they had this girl like up there doing comedy at like 8, or it was Amanda Bynes. She's like doing comedy at like 9 years old at the fucking Comedy Cellar, and you're like, get her out of that comedy club. That's
prime
a bar.
coke years too.
Yeah, get her out of the bar. Get the baby out of the bar. I think my least favorite thing is when you do a comedy show at a brewery, and there's the people that just are
have
drunk
their kids.
adults, and they just let their kids run like a dog off the leash.
When I worked at breweries, I had very strong feelings about this.
It's the worst.
Where I was like, you should never be allowed to bring your kids in here. This is an establishment entirely around drinking.
Yeah.
There should not be kids here. I used to swear more when kids would be around me at bars because it's like, if your kid is here, if your fucking kid is at my goddamn brewery, then I'm going to talk however the fuck I want to talk. Okay, lady? It's not my fault that you're a bad mom who brought your kid to drink.
It's on me. It's on me that you brought your baby to a bar. That's on me now. Okay.
I'm going to do so much blow in front of your baby. I'm going to do blow.
Doing it off the changing
I'm
table.
going to do it off your baby.
I'm doing it off the changing table. Your baby's butt is numb. One time we were at a Hooters, right? So we're sitting at
that's
a
where all
Hooters.
good stories start.
At a Kennesaw Hooters, and it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and we're all drinking beer, and my buddy's drinking, and this dad comes over to our high top, and he goes, "Hey, fellas, can we keep it down and maybe take back the cursing? I got my kids with me."
It's a family establishment.
And I guess he thought he was gonna like, dude, before anybody could respond, my one buddy that was from New York was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" He's like, "This fucking jerk off brought his kids to Hooters."
That's like
Dude,
crazy. But
he started fucking roasting this guy, and I was sitting there, and I was like, "It's 100% right, though. You're at 11 o'clock at a Hooters. You look around, the bar is packed." It was like, "What are you talking about, dude? Hey, could you keep it down?" He's like, "The girls are walking around with their tits out. That's the whole thing."
it's the whole thing. It's the whole thing is to be creepy.
Yeah, the whole thing is girls with their tits out.
It's a place where you're allowed to be creepy.
Yeah, and it's not like he's doing
sell.
anything. He was just telling her stories, saying the F word. You're like, so
Yeah.
you're worried about fuck?
Oh, I thought you were saying the other F word.
No.
He's from New York, so.
Oh no, no, he's saying fuck, and the guy like didn't like it. He's like, "You don't curse in front of my kids. You're at a Hooters at 11 o'clock at night, dude." Dad, he kept going, "Dad of the year." My buddy kept going, "Dad of the year."
Oh, and that hurts that guy so bad.
That's
But
a
also,
rough
you
place
gotta
to
be-
in, too,
you gotta-
seeing your dad emasculated in a Hooters.
But also, you got to be careful with the kind of man who's going to bring his kids to a Hooters at 11 p.m.
Absolutely,
Because that guy might swing on you.
Oh, 100%.
That
He's
guy
13.
doesn't care if his kids see him get stomped out by your 5 friends.
Oh,
or
again?
whatever.
Again? Just another Wednesday night, my friend.
Yeah.
I've had 13 Bud Lights, and my ex-wife just screamed at me on the phone, "I got nothing to live for. I'm about to kill you."
I'm never going to see these kids again after I take them home anyway.
You're like, "Dude, that guy's mustache has 3 felonies." Like, quit roasting him.
Yeah, but he didn't fight.
No, the guy just went and sat back down like a dumbass because it was just my buddy was making great points.
Also, yeah, what a weird move to be the kind of person that could bring your kids to Hooters, but also doesn't want them to hear
That's
about
what we're
swearing.
like. Where's the moral line here? Like, what?
Because I was allowed to watch crazy shit as a kid as long as there wasn't nudity.
Really?
Yeah.
That was the line, was nudity?
Yeah. Like my dad sat me down to watch like Braveheart and The Godfather
Yeah.
as
those are
a
good.
child.
Yeah. Those are good. That's a good.
Bro, I'm talking VHS doubles.
Nice.
Like, because those are big movies. You
Yeah.
needed 2 separate VHS tapes.
Yeah. The first movie I saw that my parents didn't want me to see that I vividly remember being like, "Oh my God," was Pulp Fiction. When they got to the butt fuck scene in the basement, I was not ready for it.
My dad.
I was not ready for it.
You want to hear something crazy? Also a movie my dad sat me down to watch.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's a rough one. How old were you?
That one I was probably like 14, 15.
Dude, I watched a movie one time with my mom, and it was a Nicolas Cage movie. And it was like, my mom was like, "I don't want to watch it with you. It's R-rated." I was
Which
like, "No,
one?
I can't remember the movie." But I do remember they said boner. And I was young enough that I was like, "What is a boner?" And my mom was like, "All right, dude. Movie night's over.
If
Like,
it
get
start-
the fuck out of here."
If we're starting here, it's going to be a big problem
she was
later.
just like, "God damn it." Like, turned it off. Just like, "All right, I'm fucking done. I'm not going into boner talk at fucking 9 o'clock at night."
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've told you about the movie that fucking terrified me when I was little because they showed it to me too early.
What?
Jurassic Park.
Me too.
The Velociraptors really tore me up.
Bro, I was
In the
I've
kitchen,
never
big
told
problem.
anybody this. You want to hear my story?
Yeah.
I went to Jurassic Park on opening night. I was young. I must have been
how old
like
were
5
you?
years old.
That's
I was young. I would look it up. What year did Jurassic Park
I
come
was
out? 'Cause
probably
I wanna-
6 or 7.
I want to make sure I'm right on the facts because I've never told this story because I felt like a bitch when I was a child. 1993. So 88, 89, 99.
Yeah.
I was 5. So they took me to Jurassic Park because they're like, "Oh, Keegan loves dinosaurs." Dude, I
Yeah.
sat in that theater. I didn't like loud noises. The opening scene when the raptor gets that guy and it's and he's getting pulled into the cage and they're like, "Shoot her! Shoot her!" I freaked.
Yeah.
Dude. Completely panicked.
Yeah.
Busted out into tears. Got up, ran out of the theater. Would not go back in. My mom was like, "Are you for real?
Oh,
like
you
it's
didn't even-
over."
You
She's
didn't
like,
even
"It's
make
over."
it
And I
very
was
far
like,
in.
Nope.
Yeah.
No. I was like, "I will not." So my mom had to sit in the car while my dad sat in the theater with my brother and
Your
watch
dad
the whole
still
movie.
had to watch
My
it.
dad was like, "Well, your brother's not leaving. He saw dinosaurs. He's fucking
He's pumped.
yeah. He's like, it's not fair to get because my
Yeah,
brother
you're
at
right.
the time was what? He's like 9 or 10. So that was
That's
huge,
perfect age.
Yeah, perfect.
That's
age.
the age you should see it.
But in the
I was
movie
probably
theater, it was so
6-ish.
loud, and I think
Yeah.
it was more the noise that scared me. Dude, I cried like a bitch at the laser show when I was a kid.
I was
Because the fireworks went off. I was like,
Whoa.
maybe I was just woke back then. That when they did all their racist Confederate propaganda, that's what the laser show was.
It makes sense.
It's just like Confederate propaganda. It's
Yeah.
so weird. And I'm proud to be an American.
I mean, that's kind of obvious, or opposite.
Where at least I'll pay a fee.
Aw. And that's what they're doing. They're doing the mix-ups.
Dude, the laser show was dope. It could have been a lot cooler. It could have not been like Confederate propaganda. It could have been just like a fun show.
Just cool lasers, yeah.
Put some Pink Floyd to it.
Jurassic Park, though.
Jurassic Park. What a movie.
It's so good, though. Really?
The
rewatching
effects
it?
still hold up.
It's great.
Jeff Goldblum. Dino DNA. I almost got that tattooed on me.
That wasn't Jeff Goldblum.
No, I'm saying that I skipped.
Yeah.
Real quick. But yeah, I wanted to get that tattooed on me. The little
The little
DNA
guy.
strand.
Yeah, that's fun. That's a fun little tattoo.
Yeah, because there's somebody knows it. You're like, you're cool.
I think it's crazy that I feel like a Jurassic Park game hasn't really been nailed yet.
No, you're wrong. There was some on Sega.
Were there?
Yeah, there were some good ones on Sega.
Okay.
They did one on Super Nintendo that I told the story that my grandfather called the hotline to beat. And that game was just so fucking hard. It was like a puzzle. But there was some cool side scrollers where you got to fight dinosaurs. But as far as like with modern technology, no.
No, there hasn't really been. I think they're working on one.
I mean, I want a Roller Coaster Tycoon Jurassic Park.
I think that does exist.
Really? Because that's
I'm
what
pretty
I would
sure.
like. Yeah. Because did you ever play Roller Coaster Tycoon? Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
Build a death trap.
You
That's the
little
only.
sociopath,
That's the
dude.
only thing I ever did in that game.
Why?
Was build death traps because it's funny.
I used to love to play that game though. Just mindlessly. I bet Roller Coaster Tycoon would slap. Oh, Jurassic Safari. There you go. I knew they couldn't call it Jurassic Park.
Jurassic World Evolution. That's the game.
Yeah.
Here, I'll pull it up on Steam. See what it looks like.
Seems like it. I mean, I can't believe we haven't really.
We have Jurassic World Evolution 2.
Looks pretty dope.
$60. Yeah, so it's basically.
Yeah, that looks awesome. I wonder if you can let them out. Like, can you be Newman?
Probably. Can you Newman?
Yeah, can you pull a Newman and fucking and drop the shaving cream canister?
The little.
God damn it! I could do Jurassic Park like scene for scene.
I've seen it so many fucking times.
I feel like I have done it before after a bathroom break at a bar, just sitting in a bar, like telling somebody about Jurassic Park.
I feel like the third one was the one I saw the most because it was the one.
Third one?
It was the one we had on VHS.
That one sucked. They all sucked.
After
the first one.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
The first one was great.
And the concepts were okay. I feel like the books were good, but the movies were
I didn't
fucking
read
garbage.
the books.
I didn't either. I thought about it when I was reading Dune. I was like, I wonder what Jurassic Park's like in the book.
Have you ever heard about The Meg?
Dude,
So there's Jason Statham movies now.
that's terrible.
So somebody told me about the books before the movie was ever announced, and they were like, "These are pretty awesome books."
Yeah.
So like, I've heard good things about the books, but I've seen those movies, and I'm like, no.
There's movies that are so bad that people, dude, I heard people at work, my table, talking about that Ryan Gosling movie. And
They wanna see it?
So pumped. They were so pumped. And I was like, dude, am I on a different frequency? Like, what is happening?
The Fall Guy.
I mean, the stunt man, they were so into it. And it's like I realized I was just standing over the table glaring at them, like listening, like.
They're like, "Hey Keegan, what's up?" And you just have sad songs running in the back of your head. You're just like,
Oh, dude, that's the worst.
You just slowly start to morph into the Unabomber.
Slowly but surely, like, it's
like
the Homer Simpson meme, but you're like into a cabin.
You're like, we have been over socialized.
This is the inevitable fallout. I do find myself from reading Dune, my inner monologue is turned up tenfold.
Yeah.
I'm like, somebody will say something at work. I'm like, he did with disdain.
Yeah.
I'm Bene Gesserit people.
Putting all of his force into not showing his anger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then somebody at work said, but Bene Gesserit, like Elton John, and I was like, God damn it, dude. Now every time I read that word.
I hate it when that, because sometimes those are fun, but have you ever heard one of those where you just hear it and you're like, I don't like that one for some reason?
No. Yeah, I hear it.
That, I don't know.
Bro,
It's,
you know what time are we at?
we're at 55. It's fine.
Dude, I'm just saying, I can't believe it's taken me 55 minutes to bring this up. The other day I was on Facebook, and my uncle is a big-time lawyer, right, in Texas. Do you know who his client is? Drake.
Drake?
He just posted a casual photo on Facebook with like 30 likes. And it's just, I'm with my client, Drake. I sent my brother a message. I'm like Drake?
Can we get him on the pod?
Dude.
I would love to run my joke by him.
I would love to watch you run that joke in front of him. And I would love that we get 30 views and we don't tell anybody.
That would be the
Just have
funniest.
Drake
Don't
on-
tag him.
Nope.
That would be the funniest. That would be the funniest thing we could possibly do.
The funniest. He's just saying,
Bro,
and we listened to like none of his music, so we'd have nothing to ask him.
I would love to run that joke by Drake so much.
I want to text.
I don't want to say it on the internet.
No. I mean, I really could not fucking believe that. And I can't believe I didn't bring it up in the Blake episode. But I was just like, dude, just completely shocked at a 30 like Facebook post, just nonchalantly. My uncle and my cousin hanging with Drake.
Just chilling.
I
don't even know enough Drake lyrics to make a joke about that.
I don't either. I just was like, I know that he's beyond worldly famous.
He's unbelievably famous.
Yeah, like that's insane. My uncle, though, this is how you know, my uncle owns law firms. So one time he came to visit, and I was like, how was your flight? He was like, well, it was good. I was like, yeah, was the plane packed? He's like, no, it's just us.
Not my plane.
yeah, it's just us. So it's good. We're like,
oh, you're flying like that.
Oh, you took your plane. You're gonna hate that CD I gave you.
Yeah. You're like, who'd you buy your plane from? Hope it wasn't Boeing.
You're like, hey, take my name off that gift. I'm not giving him a $20 gift card to Starbucks.
You know what would be hilarious is if, maybe not hilarious. This is maybe a little dark.
I know that every time you say that, I know where it's gonna go. You're like, hey, this would be hilarious.
What if it, as planes start falling from the sky, is the results of the last few years of Boeing making bad planes?
Yeah,
starts to come to a head. What if it's not commercial jet? What if it's like all the private jets just start falling apart?
Yeah.
That seems like it would really be rich people is a problem that's solving itself.
I would think that would get solved in 2 hours. It would take one rich person.
First rich person. Yeah, you're right.
Like, well,
I guess I'm going to buy a new plane.
Yeah. I would hope that maybe in the catastrophe that is modern air travel, we could up our fucking train game.
That would be, we can have like a real,
Can't we have
like
a
Atlas,
train?
like an Atlas Shrugged society?
This is all you got to know. When you go to Disney World, and we have a better monorail system at Disney World than we do in the United States of America, you're like, what are we fucking doing?
Yeah, the train. And that's in Florida.
I'm just like, the technology is being used by Disney and nowhere else.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
Trains are, but I don't know. Trains, there's a lot there's too much weird stuff going on where this feels like it's not our most immediate problem, you know?
What? Oh, trains?
Trains.
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely. I'm a little autistic. Don't worry about that.
It feels like
I'm just stuck on
it
trains.
feels like
it
feels like there's bigger problems we could be working on.
Absolutely. I feel like that would be me at the debate. Like, all right, dude, we get it. Psychedelics need to be legalized in fucking trains. Leave it at that, Keegan. Jesus Christ.
You're
Shout out Jim from Mo. Quit giving shout outs.
Oh, I can't remember.
Presidential debate.
What's the I'm trying to remember what's the term where they in Congress they just talk for a long time.
Filibuster.
You're just filibustering about trains.
Just filibuster with a Finish the Story podcast.
I'm just standing next to you and leaning over and talking into the mic.
Yeah, I'm like swiveling it over. Actually, I'm gonna let Trent weigh in. Yeah, actually, dude.
Actually, I don't know shit about trains, but
we're just reenacting fucking Jurassic Park for
but
him.
what if we go back farther, get some horses around, you know?
Just cuts to me in the presidential debate, and I'm going, and there's Dr. Grant. He doesn't really like kids, okay? So this kid shouldn't even be on the archaeological dig. And then he gets the fucking raptor claw, and he's all like, what if you cut your stomach like a turkey?
You're really going to go through this scene by scene?
And then the old dude wants to pop champagne because he knows they're going to come.
Yeah.
Helicopter, Costa Rica. Jeff Goldblum, stunningly handsome.
Ties a seatbelt.
That's gonna be a Patreon episode where we just watch. That's my favorite
step
scene.
by step. We do the audiobook version of Jurassic Park. Dude, what if we started doing that? What if we started doing podcast adaptation of movies?
And then he's all like, "Show me the money."
I think our second project should be American History X.
And then he lays on a table and he fucks a pie, but it's not gay. It's not weird. Be like, and that is the end of Ratatouille. Thank you. Thank you. Ali Stage is like, what the fuck, dude? This is not what we signed up for.
Dude, I'm telling you,
the only person who likes it is Colt. He's just in the back like, oh my God,
what theater?
Oh my God. They get it, dude.
This is why I built this place.
Everybody, more of that, dude.
You guys suck.
These guys, that's where my head's at.
I want you here every Friday and Saturday. New movie every time.
You're like, scene closes, theme song plays. Days go by.
Just read.
Like, that's episode 3 of Full House.
I guess technically, isn't this basically what Andy Kaufman did with The Great Gatsby?
Dude, I didn't understand Andy Kaufman when I was younger, and then now you go back and watch it.
It's pretty fun.
He was the original troll.
Oh yeah,
like when he was wrestling the women, dude. That is,
dude, fighting women is. I think that should come back around.
So funny when he did the Mighty Mouse thing. When I was a kid, I hated it. I was like, yeah. I hate this. This is so
but then,
stupid.
For some reason, when you're an adult, you're like, it's the right level of stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just the right level of.
It's you're just like, what the fuck is happening?
Oh man.
Oh, and man, The Great Gatsby. What a bad book.
I never liked it.
No, I don't think
what
I've
a fucking bitch.
I don't think I've talked to one adult person who was like, yeah, it's a good book. It's.
You know what else is a shit book? Catcher in the Rye.
I never had to read that, but I've heard bad things.
That kid is a fucking asshole, dude. When you go back and read that book, you're like, dude, you're a little shit. Like,
well, like I was homeschooled for the years where we were reading a lot of those books. So most of like that stuff, I was reading other books, but I was reading way more books.
Yeah.
And like some of them, like I read For Whom the Bell Tolls, I think in 10th grade or something, which that's Ernest. That's like an Ernest Hemingway book.
You're like, I did For Whom the Bell Tolls on Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, dude, your homeschooling was
afternoon
rad.
lesson. doing through the fire and flames next week.
They like come to see me homeschooling the girls. They're like, what the fuck? Like, and then we
By the way, how crazy is that you didn't even recognize that that's an Ernest Hemingway book?
I know. I just was letting you know where my brain is going. I feel comfortable in this space to let you know where my brain. Sometimes I just stare at people and they're like, "You haven't said anything." Sorry,
I was thinking about a bunch of stuff I can't say.
If I told you, you would call somebody.
Yeah. That's basically all of Dune thoughts is you're just like, I can't even explain this to begin to explain it.
Yeah. I started trying to explain to this guy
do you get why the question that fortunately with the movie doesn't get asked the same way anymore, but before the first movie came out, all the time the same question, what is Dune?
Yeah.
Which is like, I can't answer that. That's like asking what is Lord of the Rings if you have no context.
A lot. What is Dune? A lot.
It's everything. It's everything but better than everything.
Yeah. It's everything. You will die. Yeah, I was trying to explain to this guy at work my epiphany. I was telling you on the phone, but it was like, so Frank Herbert was like really into mycology. Like he ended up figuring out how to grow
mycology
or whatever, how to grow chanterelles. I was more thinking about what I'm trying to say. So Paul Stamets went out there in like the 80s because he was like, that's impossible. And Frank's like, dude, I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I don't really care either way. So they come out there and he's like, I'll be damned. Like this guy really is growing chanterelles. But I was thinking about it. If you grow mushrooms, a lot of what you have to do is you have to have worms, and then you take their casings, and that's what you use for like what you grow the mushrooms.
The fertilizer.
Yeah. But I was like, that. No wonder that makes sense to have the sandworms be of the earth and be like, you know what I mean, responsible for the melange. I was like, dude, I could see the jump. Water of Life. One of his 2 psychedelic experiences was with peyote. I'm like, I'm sure that's like a water of life experience.
Yeah.
Peyote is one of those things I would love to do, but I wouldn't do it.
It seems scary.
Well, I wouldn't do it out of like respect, because it takes so long for those plants to grow that like the people that are a part of those tribes are like, hey, we want to keep this just for our tribe. You know, if everybody starts doing it, we're going to run out of it because it's a finite supply of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you really want to do it, just do mescaline. I mean, if you could find it.
That's basically the
active synthesized version of it. But yeah, that came up in a lot of these states that you see them decriminalizing psychedelics. A lot of what they'll do is they decriminalize it except for peyote. And they're like, you can do mescaline, but just leave, like stop. Just don't. Yep. It's like quit gobbling this cactus that takes like 25 years to eat.
Yeah, not good.
Nobody wants to give it to like a trust fund white chick.
Yeah. Well, that's like,
she's like, I'm going to get so much TikTok content from this.
So weirdly, that's kind of how salvia is too.
Whoa.
Except,
I fucking hated salvia.
Except it's way easier to make in a lab.
Dude,
so basically it became so available from lab stuff that they didn't need to, but it comes from a plant that doesn't mature for like a decade.
Really? I didn't realize that.
And it's like leaves, yeah.
Huh. And you can find it in every gas station, dude.
No,
that shit was everywhere.
Well, now it's that was basically once they discovered it and figured out that you can make it very easily. So, but it grows on like one mountainside in Mexico. It's crazy.
Imagine that salvia trip. The first person who had a salvia trip.
Well, they were munching leaves.
I know, but if you went into a salvia trip not knowing what was happening, I did salvia.
Well,
in high school.
that was the thing about salvia is that people didn't realize it's like a DMT level strong drug, and they did it because they saw a funny YouTube video of a guy who freaked out, and they're like, "Wouldn't that be funny and silly?" And then they just blast off.
Yeah,
that was the problem. That was most people didn't know what they were doing.
Let me give you my salvia setting. I did it in high school in the backseat of a car parked at the mall.
What kind of car?
It was a fucking Honda Civic, so it was a tight backseat. And it was at the mall. And we just blasted off in the backseat. I mean, I lived a life as that fucking backseat. Like I was just
You were the backseat.
I was the Honda Civic.
Bro.
I had no idea. Nobody told me anything. They're like, oh, it gets silly for a minute. And then you just... I mean, I came out of it and was like, I fucking hate that. I never want to touch that shit again.
That's what most people I've heard.
I was like, don't ever ask me to hit that shit.
I would try it knowing what it is.
It's the time you feel like wherever you go, you feel like you're there for so long. That's what I did not like about it. You felt trapped there.
Yeah.
Like it was fucking, I didn't like it. I was trapped in that place. It's definitely a feeling of, oh, I did it.
Oh, I'm stuck.
Yeah. All these years of playing around.
We're never coming back.
I'm a cup of orange juice. Fuck.
Forever now.
Don't tip me. Everybody heard that story.
Yeah.
Everybody heard that story.
Yep.
Everybody heard that story, and everybody heard the story of the guy who spilled water on himself with a bunch of acid in his pocket.
Yeah. Yep.
The only story I ever heard was somebody got a vial spilt on him in Asheville. I was like, yikes, dude. Yikes.
The craziest for me, I saw some documentary about like the guys who were making it back in the day. Because they're like out of prison. Mm-hmm. So they're just like guys who are.
Yeah, they're making Netflix. They're like,
they're not,
cash in, baby.
Exactly. So they
start a podcast. You're like, hell yeah.
Bro, one of these guys, he's talking about, he's like, you'd be, doing this, and you're like, I'm staying sober today. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to do this thing. It takes hours. It's very difficult and specific. And then, let me adjust this piece of glass. Oh, that was wet. Oops.
Oopsie daisy.
And now you're
Oopsie
tripping
daisy.
nuts.
Yeah, now you're just watching.
And making.
You're just like that meme where all the fucking like formulas are floating around you. Yeah. What a fun place to trip, though. In like a laboratory.
I don't know. Because stuff is so fragile. You really got to be careful with everything.
True. That's like when you're tripping and somebody hands you like a glass
and if
piece.
If you break any kind of glass tripping, I feel like that just shatters your whole reality. You're like, oh, I messed up so bad. That thing can never be fixed. That exact thing will never be exactly that again.
Yeah, I was at a festival one time and this guy talked. He was a glass blower, and he told us how rare this piece was, and we were tripping. And then he handed it to me, and I was like,
don't want it.
Dude, we're in a field right now.
That's like handing me a baby.
I was like, the last thing I want to do is break that thing. I'm tripping in a Ninja Turtle onesie. I already feel like a dickhead.
In a Ninja Turtle.
I was literally looking around this thing, and it was at a Halloween. It's like a Halloween festival. And I showed up to my buddy's campsite. Nobody's dressed in Halloween costumes. I don't know anybody there. And I just sat down looking like a complete
weirdest
dickhead. I was like, dude, and I was tripping. And I was the only person tripping. So I'm just sitting there like a fucking asshole. And like the longer I sat there, the more I was like, oh my fucking, I would look down at myself like, oh my fucking God, dude.
I'm fucking that guy.
Yeah, the guy was like, what do you mean you don't want the piece? I was like, I don't want to hold it. He was like, why? I was like, I don't know.
It's very rare.
Now you're making me scared.
Yeah. I'm terrified.
I'm watching the undulating fabric. Leave me be. I'll never forget that, though. That was like one of the most uncomfortable times I ever felt. And all the girls were like really gorgeous, pretty hippie chicks. I was like, I feel like such a trash.
You're just an alien.
Yeah, just a fucking, like you feel the vibes of people looking at you going, who the fuck is this idiot?
Who invited him?
Yeah, because I didn't know anybody. Just sitting there, Ninja Turtle onesie, looking like a dumbass. And people kept asking me which Ninja Turtle I was, and I wasn't a specific Ninja Turtle. I was just the concept.
You had
Turtle.
everything except for the colored headband.
I had no headband. I had no utensils. I was just
utensils.
I didn't have a weapon.
That's not the right word.
Yeah, I didn't have a weapon.
Dude, you're just in there with a fork, and people are like, "Which Ninja Turtle are you?"
I was trying to think of size, dude. So
you've got a wooden spoon.
You're like holding a mop.
Is that Leonardo?
Just walking around with a mop. They're like,
you have a banana.
Dude, that was the same festival that you were talking about burning your hand. I cooked breakfast, and I had a giant pan of grease. And as soon as I got up, the girl I was with goes, hey, don't spill that. And I was like, I'm good. And I just dumped it onto my foot. Dude, melted my whole top of my foot.
Ow.
And I went down to first aid. And
grease is the worst.
Oh, yeah. It just annihilated my foot. But when I went into the first aid tent, my immediate thought was, I'm in a goddamn Ninja Turtle onesie. Guy's looking at me like, what happened? I was like, dude.
I spilled pizza grease, man.
Yeah, I spilled grease, dude. Not cowabunga.
Not very cowabunga of you.
Shell shock, bro. This dude, though, I'll never forget this firefighter. He looked at me. He looked down at my foot. He looked at me and he's like, listen, dude. He's like, if you don't, he starts writing his phone number down on this piece of paper. And I'm like, what? And he's like he could tell I was fucked up. And he's like, listen to me. Somewhere deep inside your conscious, I need you to. He's
note
like,
this.
If you don't come to me at least 3 times a day, he was like, your foot is going to get so fucking infected. You have no idea.
Oh, yeah. Dude. You're at a festival. You
That's what he was
saying.
He's like, dude, you're going to walk around this music festival. Because it happened on like Friday or Saturday morning. I still had like 2 days. It was bad. But thank God for that guy. Every time I'd go into the shows, I'd stop. He'd change my bandages. And then I'd come back and he would change them. And just, I mean, I would be sitting there.
You'd be tripping nuts.
Talking to him like, hey. He's like, this fucking kid, dude.
I fucking hate that.
I'm like, dude, I thought about being a fireman too, dude.
I swear to God, this is the last year I volunteer for this.
Yeah. How many fires have you fought personally?
So, like, do you get nervous like a boxer before you fight a fire?
Yeah, dude. How many times y'all work out a day? What? Just every time I show up, I'm on a different drug.
How long is the
I'm
hose?
just on Molly, like laying my head on his head. He's like, dude.
You're like playing with his hair.
Hey, man, have I ever told you you got beautiful eyes?
Hey, man, I really, really appreciate you doing this.
I'm just
so
calling
much.
him at 3 a.m, laying in my hammock, like, hey, dude, what are you doing? Me, I'm just looking at the moon.
What are you wearing?
Yeah. Are you wearing your outfit?
Bro.
I kept going in outfit. I was like, look, y'all are in outfits too.
Your little outfit?
Yeah, I was like, y'all are in little outfits too. He's like, hey, we're in a uniform. I was like, look at us. All those silly little outfits. Look at us, a bunch of silly boys. He's like, dude, I'm going to kick your ass.
He's just like, you might lose your foot. Like one time you come and he's like, I'm not going to do that foot if you keep calling them silly outfits.
Yeah. You're like, what do you mean? We are silly boys.
Did you ever change out of the onesie?
Dude, I had
Did you just keep coming in with a dirtier onesie every time?
I had 2 onesies, but they were one and the same. It was the same onesie that this was operated.
This guy.
Dude, I went to a show, and this is how our buddy, so we all took the Molly to go to this show. It's an hour, and I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I did it when I was younger. So we took the Molly, and then our buddy goes, hey, I got parachutes for everybody, which is like a little piece of toilet paper. It's a redneck way to take Molly. You just put like powder in a little tiny thing of toilet paper and swallow it. It's called a parachute. And so our buddy gives us this parachute. And before I could even think about it, I took it. My buddy took it. And then he goes, how much was in that? And I was like, oh, we definitely should have asked that.
Was that
before.
all of the Molly?
He was like, oh, I put 0.3 in there. Dude.
Is that a lot? I don't know.
That's a lot of this Molly. We had just taken 0.1, and I was like, what are you talking about? That's the most I've ever taken. He's like, dude, you'll be okay. I was at this show so hot. I could not believe it. And I was in a onesie. So I was legitimately burning alive, dude. Like,
and then you come in later, you're like, hey, Dale. What a day.
Yeah. I was running like 105-degree fever. Dude, I had to take my onesie off and tie it around my waist so I'm shirtless. And I was like dancing at the show, and some girl just came up and dumped 2 bottles of water on me. And she goes, you look like you're in emergency mode. I was steaming like a baked potato. And then I just go sit down for some dude to change my foot, you know? Like,
yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it was
dude,
a long shift out there. Yeah. I was like at the shows dancing like this. Like, don't step on my foot. Don't step on my foot.
Because one person stepped on your foot at the beginning and you were like, never again.
Oh, dude. No, I just knew because I had my foot was fucking raw.
Oh, yeah.
It would be like somebody just smacking your hand. It was like not an option. And I couldn't even tie my shoe. So I had to just go with a jail shoe. You know what I'm talking about?
A slide?
Yeah, but they take the laces out in jail.
Oh, man.
You're like, dude, insult the injury.
Yeah.
You know? I don't think you can kill yourself with a shoestring.
You could if you really wanted to.
You think so?
Didn't Jeffrey Epstein do it?
Yeah. Okay. Same thing with that Josh Barnett guy from Boeing. He was just so sad before his deposition.
That he had to use his shoelace.
shoelace. Like, it's the damnedest thing, dude.
Which is hard. Those business shoelaces are real short, you know?
It was a magic bullet. He shot himself twice.
You really need a good bootlace, I think, is the way to go.
A bootlace you could definitely
You got
do.
some extra length?
Because, I mean, you could... Which is a rough way to kill somebody.
Just strangle from behind.
Yeah, that's a big... Because you're definitely going to get a head right in your nose.
And also, if like it's a piano wire, it's cutting right through.
Oh, I never even thought about that.
Right to the spine.
I think that's the only thing that's keeping me from
You would die
erotic
quick.
asphyxiation.
You would die pretty quick that way.
Just getting caught with my...
By the way, did you hear I have a new line or a little thing that I say with that? Because I have a joke where I come out very pro autoerotic asphyxiation. It's a joke. It's a joke.
There's some truth in every joke there, Trent.
What a cool way to go. You're literally coming into heaven. You're coming into the afterlife. It's a pretty cool way to go, all things considered.
Dude, you just come to the gates. You're like, dude.
Bro, the first thing you see is St.
Peter. You're just pinching your nipples. You're like, ah. Oh, sorry, St. Peter. What's going on? He's like, straight to hell.
Yeah, he's like, that's actually one of the few. Turns out being gay, totally fine. Can't do that.
Choke yourself. I mean, it does rule, though. I met a girl that I really thought was, it's like, this is beyond sexual. This is malicious. She's taking this opportunity of weakness. Like, damn it. Yeah. Choking is a fine line.
It's a real tightrope.
It's a real piano wire, you could say.
I call it following the golden path.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a Dune reference you haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah. I figured. I just assumed. I put context clues into it. I was like, that's a little Easter egg.
You get better at doing that the more you read Dune, I feel like. You get better at context clues.
Somebody was like, dude, at work the other day, somebody goes, "Where's my check for table 22?" I was like, "It is in the place that you cannot see, and you will see check 22 staring back at you." It's like only the people that read the books
crazy
are like,
shit at people. And they're just like, why are you even trying? Nobody gets it.
Yeah. I mean, I really am sad now that I read the books that Aaliyah wasn't in it.
Yeah, she would have been awesome to be in it.
So funny.
So cool.
She's so funny.
Because she's such a like infant that just says wild shit.
Yeah.
It's the best.
It's great. Like she reminds me of like the insult dog, you know? Just how like, he's a fat man that can't hold himself up. It's like she could have been the comic relief.
Yeah. Yeah, she's fun in the first book.
I told you, it would have been like little boss baby running around, little CGI baby. Like sliding in. Yeah, dude, I think they could have kept that in.
I think that they cut it because it was a 3-hour movie that it would have added half an hour probably to really
to explain
integrate that.
Yeah, to explain it.
Yeah.
I think they're just going to cut forward. We're going to get the jihad's going to be a Credence montage, and then it's going to be her sexy on the throne, like being the god chick. When everybody else is like, she's an abomination, and they're going to make her like mystical and like, she's going to be older, right? Because it's 12 years later. And she was 2.
Yeah.
So she's
going to be like a young teenager.
Yeah, she's going to be like 17.
Yeah, and then...
dude, by then she's going to be so smart. That's terrible.
Well, the thing is, when you're that level, you're not really necessarily getting that much smarter.
Well, that's I was about to say.
Because you already have it all.
Yeah.
You're just a super genius experiencing stuff. But you'll see. In the books, book 3 is where they really get into it.
That's the only thing that the real thing that really set with me is when people talked about that whatever created us might be in a part of all of us, and it might have shattered itself to experience this universe through everybody else.
Yeah.
Because that would be the only way to like truly have a psychedelic experience as a god. Would be to experience the world that you created simultaneously through every single living creature.
Yeah, that would be pretty wild.
Yeah. I feel like that might be what it is.
It might be.
And then DMT is like just like
stepping back in, being like, whoa, I forgot about this. Holy shit.
Yeah. He's like, I got to get a trap door so I
Man.
can take a break.
No wonder I went where they have cars and planes that don't work.
Yeah.
Buddy, we've been going for
We
like
did
an
it. We did
hour,
it.
hour 25.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in, man. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Patreon. Sluts. Sorry.